How do you identify personally and in engineering contexts?
Being a Black woman and being temporarily disabled have impacted my college life the most. Being temporarily disabled means accommodations are necessary. And that's the part I think relates most to engineering because, unfortunately, the only thing that really made me realize how much people with other permanent mobility disabilities struggle is going through it myself.
What are some identity related challenges you have experienced in engineering?
Basically, I found that I haven't been accommodated well enough. I randomly sprained my ankle about halfway through the semester. I was doing okay and could still get around at first, but 5 weeks later, I ended up injuring it again, like right before finals week. It was really bad. And I couldn't walk, like not even a short distance. I was so hungry and people were not available to help me get food because they were busy studying for their finals. All I had was oatmeal. Physically, I was in very bad shape. And then, like, mentally, it hit me a lot because I had been doing so well. And then all of a sudden, this thing happens in my body, and now I can't do things for myself. I was on crutches for quite a while. Eventually, I ended up doing physical therapy, and I had to talk about it with my academic advisor because it got to the point where it offset my senior capstone project because I physically couldn't go to any classes unless they were online. I was in so much pain that ibuprofen was doing next to nothing. I was taking it like 6 times a day. I begged one of my professors, please do not make me come into this final exam. If I have to come in, I won't make it. I'm in so much pain. So he was like, oh, this is fine. I'll set up a Zoom link for you. Then he forgot. So, with his permission, my classmates and I ended up scrambling to set up the Zoom link last minute. I took a C++ class, and there were certain labs that were only in person. And I spoke to the professor before I got the formal accommodation documents, and he was like, it's fine, you can do the class online, but there's no substitute for the in person stuff. And that's when people were doing a lot of coding and learning some elementary stuff, and I missed a good 4 weeks of that. So I felt very behind. And that was frustrating for me. In the spring, I finally had a doctor's note, so it was easier to get accommodations. But the orthopedics office had taken a really long time getting a note, which was fair, but still frustrating. But there were other things where I really just wasn't accommodated at all, like my senior capstone class, because I would ask for accommodations over both semesters I was injured, and I was just never really accommodated. And in another class, even with a doctor's note, my friend still had to call me into a class so I could listen to what was happening. I'm upset because I've had several professors say they're going to help me, but then they don't. It's like, this is just me, and I'm eventually going to get to a point where I can be in person. What about people who are wheelchair bound? What about people who have more serious injuries? What about other people with mobile disabilities? Imagine what this is like for them. This is really unfair. Like, I'm paying for this, just like everyone else. I'm putting in effort, just like everyone else. Why can't you accommodate? Why am I struggling?
What would you say to a professor about these issues if you had a chance?
I think that most people ask for accommodations when they need them or, just hope this would make their life significantly easier. Sure, some people are going to lie about certain issues they're going through, but I don't think most people have a reason to lie about needing to miss class. So you might as well accommodate. They need some assistance. This is kind of your job as a university who pride yourselves on inclusion and equity. It wouldn't make sense for you to do this. Anything else is just subpar and embarrassing. Part of me wants to say, thanks for nothing, but it's not that simple. I have a lot of mixed feelings, but there are definitely some professors that I'm really grateful for, and I know they did their best. And I'm thankful for the teachers who accommodated me when I didn't have proper accommodation papers, and they just believed me. That made all the difference.